All right. You ready for some buy or sell to finish
Let's
things
buy or
off?
sell.
All right. Thanks to our friends over at Panini. Check out the Panini Senior Bowl helmet right here. Looking great. Our friends at Panini. This is buy or sell. These are a couple of statements that we are buying or selling. So I will start off with this. Oh, what a great one to start off with. Buying or selling. We gave up on Arch Manning too soon.
We didn't. Y'all did. Quarterbacking is a process. This was a young guy who had minimal starts entering into the season. And just because you guys thought that he should have been playing at a Heisman caliber level at the very beginning doesn't mean that that was a part of the process, right? You need reps, you need experience. He's playing in the toughest conference in all of college football in the SEC with all the pressure of having the last name Manning, and he just needed to grow. And like I said, he had all new weapons, all new offensive line, right? All running backs were injured, so he had to go through that process of learning his guys. So they definitely threw Arch Manning out too fast, too soon, because everybody was chasing headlines, and then now you're starting to see him turn the corner.
Yeah, I'm buying that heavy.
Yep.
And like you said, you couldn't have said it better. We did not give up on Arch, but you guys did collectively as a media. The dunking on Arch Manning and all the jokes that were happening. There's a video of me and you talking at the beginning of the year where I said, Arch Manning's going to play in the NFL. So you guys have your fun right now because Arch Manning's going to be a number 1 overall pick and he's going to play in the NFL. And that's going to happen. And you're just watching the beginning of the turnaround for this kid. He's a Manning. He's the most prepared that any kid could possibly be. And you know that they are going to do everything in their power to put him in the best position possible. This was ridiculous from the beginning with people. I hope y'all enjoyed your 2 minutes of fame because that shit's over with. And it's you better watch out for Texas because they're only getting better. They are only getting better. All right, the next one. Heisman Trophy will go to whoever wins the Big Ten. Buy or sell?
Sell. And I'm going straight to the SEC. And the SEC has 3 quarterbacks that have opportunity for Heisman contention. I'm going with Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson. I'm going with Texas A&M quarterback Marcel Reed. And the kind of dark horse in this Heisman conversation is Joey Aguilar, quarterback of Tennessee. I think he can get some things done.
I'm buying this. It's going to be one of Julian Sand or Fernando Mendoza because those 2 guys are number 1 and number 2 in the odds right now. And the national champion for the 3rd year straight is going to come from the Big Ten. So y'all already know what's going to happen. I know it's tough for the SEC to admit that the Big Ten's caught up and become the best conference in football, but here we are.
Dreams versus reality.
Just saying, back-to-back champs. All right, Dabo Swinney. This is a good one. Dabo Swinney is on the hot seat. A loss again to Duke.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't even imagine, honestly, the person that I'm most surprised that still has their job at this point is Dabo.
Yeah, because
considering where the expectations were.
He was closer to getting fired before everybody else was close.
100%. And this is one of those ones where this is a roster that it's really tough to see that they are struggling like this in a conference that's not very good. They're also in a weak conference. And that's the part you looked at their schedule and you went, man, this sets up really nicely for Clemson to go undefeated and win a national championship. So buy or sell Dabo on the hot seat.
I'm buying because Dabo Swinney said he's on a hot seat. Right in his post-game conference, he talked about, listen, I understand if there's conversations about me getting fired, I would probably fire me, right? So I'm looking at Dabo Swinney. And listen, at some point, you understand as a coach that you simply did not fulfill the expectations. Looking at Clemson, they are the biggest question mark of where did things go wrong? And it's because they had the recipe for everything being successful. They had a returning quarterback who was a veteran who played at an all-time level. They had a defensive line in the trenches, right, that played really good. They have draft picks littered throughout this entire roster, and they have continuity. That does not bring into a recipe of failure. That brings to a recipe of championship. So I think when we look back on this season and we hand out awards for biggest disappointment, it's going to be the Clemson Tigers.
Yeah, it's got to be. I'm buying that he is on the hot seat. Dabo Swinney has had the toughest time adjusting to the current state of college football.
Keep going now. That's what I want to do.
And he has not adjusted at all. He has not bought into NIL. He has fought against it. He's fought against branding. He's fought against social media. He's fought against the transfer portal. And Dabo, you're fighting a fight that you lost already, buddy. This is over with. The version of college football that you coached in is gone, and it's not coming back. And that is the part of this that is, I think, the hardest for Clemson fans probably to actually have an honest conversation with themselves. Is Dabo Swinney capable of coaching in the current version of college football? I think the answer is an emphatic no. I don't think he loves this version of football. Yeah. I think he needed to watch Nick Saban, who absolutely decided to retire because he did not want to coach in this version of college football. Dabo Swinney doesn't want to coach in this version of college football, and that's okay. But you got to take a step away because you are not going to win not using the transfer portal and not using NIL. It cannot happen. It's not part of football anymore.
When I think of the Clemson Tigers and their failures this year, right, I think of a business example that comes up, and it's when Blockbuster had the opportunity to buy Netflix a long time ago, and they said no. Your failure to evolve and understand the environment is changing around you will be the death of you. And we're starting to see that right now with the Clemson Tigers.
It's been, the writing on the wall has been there. I can't imagine that Dabo's going to make it past the season without significant changes. All right, the last one here is there will be no undefeated teams heading into the college football playoff this year. Buy or sell?
I'm selling it.
I agree.
Obviously, we have the Ohio State-Michigan matchup at the very end.
You also got Indiana.
You got Indiana. Then you have the Texas A&M, with Texas A&M being undefeated.
BYU's undefeated.
Yeah, BYU. I think BYU loses a game. I think those teams. I'm gonna say. I'm sorry. I'm going with Ohio State. I think Ohio State will be the undefeated team at the end of the year. I was pointing out the teams that I think may potentially lose. Yeah, but I'm gonna go with Ohio State. I think they'll be able to beat Michigan because I'm not confident in Michigan offense. But I will say this: just because they're undefeated, I won't say that they will be my favorites heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I agree with you. I'm selling this. I don't believe that there will be no undefeated teams. I think of the group that we just mentioned, there's going to be one, if not a few, that still make it to the end of the season.